Let's see what happens. Just start this shit. Tell some stories. Darkness. 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 Yes. Hello. Welcome to another live edition of G's Stupid Scary Stories. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. Do you know where your children are? I know where your children are. They're in a bag. Sort of like one of those sacks like Santa Claus has. Snatched them up while you weren't looking. Put them in the bag. Took them home. And they're here in this little box with me. I'm gonna cook them. Right now they're marinating in vinegar and peppers. I like my children spicy. Tender, delicious meat. Some of the best ever. I've had it before. It's quite tasty. Quite tasty. I love it. You know, I think about little kids being eaten. Only for eating purposes, though. You know, they're delicious. The most tender and like so much better than filet mignon. But we're not going to talk about eating kids. No. Those are my hobbies. We're going to talk about something else entirely. We're going to talk about this fucking ghost that won't stop bothering me. He gets on my nerves. You know, every day he's doing some dumb shit. Wakes me up about the same time every single night. I just don't, say anything about it because people probably wouldn't believe me. You'd say, hey, this guy's crazy. Why is he talking about ghosts and visiting cemeteries and hot sauce and all this shit he's talking about? It's nonsense. Well, is it really nonsense? I mean, you're watching, whoever you are, other people watch, so it can't be nonsense to everyone. There's at least 46 people who think it's not nonsense, so thank you 46 people who don't think that things I talk about are nonsense. Wouldn't matter anyway, I talk to myself. That's what I do. It's what us crazy voices. They tell us things like, hey, you should smoke that blunt that's sitting on your keyboard right now. It's calling you. I answered the phone twice. He said, hey, smoke me. Smoke me. Oh God, with this editing shit, This editing shit. Should I make this a new thing? 2 a.m. scary stories. Or maybe not. I doubt it. This is for those with insomnia, other issues that they may be suffering from. A chance to not feel like you're all alone here. But you are. Because I'm really a ghost. Crossed over into the realm of ghostness not too long ago. It was crazy. I didn't even die. I just became a ghost. I just became a ghost. It's possible to be a living ghost. It's real easy. People about bullshit, and you disappear, and no one knows where you are, and you're kind of like a ghost. But that's not how I became a ghost. I was in a cemetery. I was walking around. I seen this weird light, sort of like a pale blue glow behind a tombstone. Thought it was weird, because there's homeless people in that cemetery. I kind of figured that perhaps, maybe, it was, like a cell phone or some kind of light that they were using to illuminate their bum hovel, tent, or whatever other structure they used to make, fucking structure. Fucking goddamn it to sleep under. Fuck. What the fuck you call it? Anyway, so me being the curious jackass that I am, I call myself investigating the anomaly that I see in front of my face. Big mistake. I shouldn't have done it. I walked over there and shit. Okay, well, they flickered it off. They probably know you're approaching, so, now they turn off the light so you can't see them. They can probably see you since you have a light in your hand. So I turn my flashlight on. Wow. Shining in the area. There's nothing there. No light, no people, no nothing. Just darkness. But I'm still curious. Now, I want to know what was behind this gravestone. So, of course, my dumbass keeps going. Slowly now, though, because now I know there's nothing there, but there was something there. You get what I'm saying? So, boom, right? I walk over, I look behind there. There's nothing. I hear a rustling behind me. Turn around. There's nothing there either. So I'm like, probably one of those goddamn cemetery turkeys, which I don't know where some of them have gone, because turkeys don't fly. So the fact of the matter is there's fewer and fewer of them, unless they've spread out. But like I said, zombie turkeys, they have to be. Anyway, so finally, I'm looking behind this gravestone now, after the fucking rustling and shit behind me, the light comes back. Now this time, a light, it's more or less this glowing orb thing, which keeps coming up out the ground and then popping back into the ground. Literally, I'm not joking with you. Well, I could be, but you don't know that. For all intents and purposes, the story could be 100% bullshit, or it could be 50% true and 50% bullshit. Part of it is true. Which part? I'll leave that to you to decide. Anyway, looking here, and this light keeps coming in and out the ground. Now, of course, my brain is like, yo, son, don't touch that shit. Don't fucking touch it. Curiosity, of course, got the goddamn best of me, and unfortunately for myself, I touched it. Immediately felt this weird numbing sensation in my fingers. Sort of like if your fingers fell asleep, it quickly traveled up my entire arm, down my entire body. I was locked, stuck, touching this ball. And it started to grow larger and larger until it was like as tall as I was. It had no shape. It was just a kind of glowing, stretchy, elliptical ball standing in front of me with my hand touching it and me stuck to it. And you're saying, well, it's just like, oh, good. Well, I tried. I really did. It was like being electrically shocked, but drawn to it at the same time. And this energy, it coursed through me for about a good 5 minutes. I couldn't move. Staring into this light, Didn't feel like, it didn't make me feel like I should be afraid of it, which was good, because I wasn't. Also, it didn't make me feel hurt or anything. It was just strange. It was a weird feeling. It held me, and for whatever strange reason, I just felt like I had become aware, if that makes sense. Like, I knew there was another side. No, people, when you die, you're not gonna walk around as a ghost or anything. That's actually not a good thing. It sucks. At least that's what I've been told by ghosts. It's not fun being trapped between two planes of existence, the plane of the dead and the plane of the living. It's purgatory, the in-between. Not quite dead, but definitely not alive. That sucks. An in-between phase, so to speak. There are some of us who walk in a phase that's in between both of those phases, still quite alive, but partly dead. That makes sense. Planes of existence are all relative anyway. I mean, what's really living? If there is supposed ghost states then technically one could continue to live on in some form or another forever. It's relative. I know this because, well, after that day, I've been able to kind of go back to a spot in a cemetery where I can kind of connect with all these weird and otherworldly things. We have sort of this like understanding now. It's like, you're dead, I'm alive. You can push stuff around and maybe potentially influence my moods slightly. Maybe even possess me for a hot second. But I'm crazy, so, you know. Once you possess one part of me, another part of me is like, hey, who the fuck is this dude? He's not one of our many peoples that are in our head. We don't like you. You're not one of us. Get out. And that's pretty much how it happens. The wonderful thing about being crazy is that ghosts don't really like crazy people for possession purposes. Why do you think they always get some normal person who's normal for the most part? You know, regular, plain old person, and all of a sudden they go crazy, which is why it's always like so fucked up when you're possessed and you're not normally fucked up. Because, you know, if you're possessed and you're crazy before you're possessed. So most people just say, hey, the person's crazy. And you're already medicated and shit anyway. Nobody cares. They lock you in a hole. You die of some fucked up abuse they, you know, bestow upon you. And it's all good. Fucking craziness. But for the rest of us crazy people who refuse to be numbed by medication, and I use crazy lightly. I don't think I'm crazy. Other people have accused me of being such, but you know what? I really don't care about those people because they're crazy. Fucking jackasses. Healthcare professionals and such trying to tell me stuff. Who goes into a job where you have to deal with fucking crazy people all day unless you're fucking crazy? It's like being the president of the United States. You gotta be an idiot to want to do that job. I'm sorry. I wouldn't want that job if you gave it to me. And besides, you wouldn't want me to be president. Could you imagine somebody like me as president? Like one day everything's fine, and the next day I'm just like flipping the fuck out. We're gonna bomb China, goddammit! Fucking sons of bitches. Had a fucking toilet yesterday, and the shit broke. And I'm mad now. It's war against China. You make shitty shit. I'm tired of your shit being made shit. Oh, we're gonna blow you up. And then of course, you know, after that would be World War III and many millions of people would die. I'd probably end the world, and that would be bad, you know, so no president for me. No president for me. I don't need to be in control of anything. I barely control myself. You know, it's terrible. It's terrible. But back to this whole ghost shit, you know, like, that's what we're talking about. The in-between, parallel dimensions, the universe, the plane between what is and what was. All that metaphysical shit that people be talking about, spiritual, blah, blah, yeah, the blah, blah, blah. Hubbub, the boo. You know what I'm saying? There you go. That's about what it is. Now, this is normally not the music that I would use, but I figured I would go with something a little bit different than what I usually use because I just figured I'd go with something different. Now, do I agree with my choice? Slightly, because I wasn't really trying to be funny yet. Yeah, here we go. I might as well finish this because why not? I'll roll another one tomorrow. Got plenty of it. He woke up. The vast lands in front of him. He decided that he was going to smoke blunts from now until the next day, and the day after that he'd smoke more blunts. Blunts, he said. Blunts. Bring me all of the blunts in the world. I need the blunts. Well, he called Baron von Buren. Baron von Buren told him that there were no more Baron blunts. This upset him greatly. He was mad about it. He couldn't understand why people would want to talk shit and not understand what was happening. Now, for those of you who are fools, and there are many of you that are, I've seen it. It's been a terrible thing. It makes me angry to see foolish people. But, you know, the world's full of them. There's tons of them. You're idiots. You're idiots. You don't smoke the good weed, you smoke garbage. Why I said that, I don't know. But if you're joining me, that's a good thing, because, if you're joining me, that makes me happy, and maybe it doesn't. I don't really give two shits, because who cares? I'm not even sure what I'm going to talk about, to be honest with you. I'm just up, and I can't go to sleep. It's one of those things. It's one of those things where, at first, you're okay with it, right? Then you realize that it's early as fuck in the morning. You realize this. And you're sitting here saying to yourself, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life? What am I doing with it? I don't know what I'm doing with it. I'm just doing what I feel like doing. Which right at this moment is streaming live on YouTube and Instagram. Because I'm awake. I'm awake, and I'm gonna wake everybody else up. Because I'm one of those fucking assholes that does shit like that. While I'm smoking, and you can't have any people. It's my weed. Get your own. You can smoke with me if you have some. Now I want to say this. I want everybody to understand this. The things that have happened, things that I've seen, the ghost stories that I'm going to tell you are true ones. These are not fake. Okay? These are not fake. These are back in my childhood days. There used to be a demon house, second floor, where I used to live. I remember it clearly. One day, I was sleeping. Motherfucker kept fucking jiggling the goddamn door handle. You know what I'm saying? Typical poltergeist shit. Nothing special. My stories are gonna sound pretty much like everybody else's because, well, not really. Not really gonna sound like everybody else's. It's gonna sound like what it's supposed to sound like. And if you're one of those people that does not believe in ghosts, well, you're not gonna believe in this. But if you do believe in ghosts, well, you might just believe in exactly what it is that I'm telling you. And I promise you, it may scare you. It may make you think about life in a whole new way. You might actually just decide, guess what? I believe. My belief in what I've seen and heard this asshole talk about scares me. It scares me. It scares me. But listen, that's not the point. The point is this, right? The point is this. The damn thing that happened when I was younger, like I was saying, ghost stories and shit. Oh, it's jiggling my door handle, right? It's jiggling. It kept fucking jiggling the door handle. Now, mind you, the night before I had drank a substantial amount of alcohol. I was drunk out of my ass. Crashed, went straight to bed. Boom. I don't even remember if I closed the door, to be honest with you. I probably swung it behind me as I just went in there and fucking crashed face first right into the bed. Drunk. I'm talking shit-faced fucking drunk. I'm gonna tell you, when I get shit-faced drunk, I don't be hearing a goddamn thing because I'm usually too busy yelling and screaming about shit until I pass out. So, went to bed about maybe 3 o'clock in the morning or later. I don't remember. Just had this feeling of get up. Like, wake the fuck up. I'm drunk as shit. And I'm like, ugh. Wake up. Wake up. Hear the door jiggling. Now, like I told you, I'm drunk. So, I'm not thinking ghost, supernatural, paranormal. I'm thinking, who the fuck is fucking with the fucking doorknob? And why don't they fucking stop? Like, Jesus Christ with the aggravating nonsense. So, of course, I'm like, hey, fucking leave the fucking door alone. Goddamn. Fucking asshole, stupid. Fucking stop with the fucking doorknob. So it stops, right? So obviously, drunk, just waking up, not thinking about paranormal or ghosts. I'm thinking, Okay, somebody's fucking with the door. All of a sudden, it's gotta be 6 or 7 in the morning because now the sun's up, you know. There goes the fucking door again. This time a little bit more loud, more violent. Like, it's really, like, the person's turning the knob. I see the shit turning. Like, they want to come in, but they won't open the door. They just keep fucking playing with it. I sit up now. Like, what the fuck? Leave the fucking door alone. What the fuck's wrong with you? Getting on my goddamn fucking nerves. Well, at that point, I don't know if you want to call it a voice, a feeling, a thought, but all of a sudden I did not feel safe. I didn't feel safe. And I didn't feel well either. Like, I started feeling nauseous. Like, really nauseous. But hey, I drank mad liquor the night before, right? We've established that. So it could be a hangover, right? Of course, hangover. Now, mind you, I drank light liquor all night. Didn't eat shit. Get up, go to this door that's... Now I'm mad. I'm mad. Mad as fuck. Stomach's hurting. Feel like I gotta throw up. Somebody's fucking with the door. So I get up, walk over to the door. Boom! Open it. Nobody's there. I don't really pay attention to it. I'm figuring, well, they probably ran, you know, because my room was all the way in the back. So I'm figuring they ran. Maybe dipped into the kitchen or the other room, which is right across. They're hiding. I don't have time for this shit. I gotta use the bathroom. Hit the bathroom. You know, I'm doing my business. All of a sudden, like, out of nowhere, well, out of my stomach, spews forth this thick, I know this is gross, people, but for the purpose of giving you a description which would help you to understand what I went through today, you gotta understand it. So, I'm sorry if it's disgusting and descriptive, but it's gonna be descriptive and disgusting. So, check this out, right? Boom. I'm like, sitting there on the toilet. Yeah, I was sitting on the toilet. You know, you gotta prepare yourself for everything when you're nauseous. Sit your ass cheeks on the toilet just in case you shit. Well, keep your head perched near the tub in case you gotta throw up, right? Well, for the first time in my life, probably one of the only times in my life, I went both ways at the same exact time. And it hurt like a fucking son of a bitch. Made it worse, it was a green, thick, like almost, looked like the color of the Incredible Hulk. Thick and nasty. I didn't eat anything green, chunky. What the fuck is this? Still not thinking anything about it, right? Finally finished, feel better, you know, like you always do when you throw up and you've been drinking a lot. Throw it up, you're fine. So I go back in my room, close my door, get back in the bed, lay my ass back down, pass back out. Maybe an hour later, right? About an hour. Say it was about a solid hour. This voice, which wasn't in my head, it was like, how do I explain this? It was like all over the room, you know what I mean? Like it was coming from somewhere in the room that wasn't the same place that I thought it was supposed to be. Like it was hovering over the ceiling or something. This voice said to me, "Get out now." I'm half awake, half still drunk. And I'm listening to this voice tell me to get out now of my own fucking room. And I'm just like not listening to it. But it didn't say it in a mean way. It was like it was concerned. You know what I'm saying? Like it was honestly concerned for my safety. It wanted me to be out of this room and safe. I didn't listen. Right. Here goes the fucking door again. Now it's getting louder. Like, the person really is turning the knob to the point where the latch is unlatched and the person could just push the door in, but they're not doing it. They just keep turning the doorknob back and forth, back and forth, back and fucking forth. Now at this fucking point, I'm seriously annoyed. I got this voice telling me to get out now. I got this thing fucking with the door, right? Now I'm thinking to myself, alright, get out, but there's something outside the door. It doesn't make too much sense. Why would I go out to where whatever this is? Why is it fucking with the door? Like, I left and went to the bathroom and left the door open. They could have easily walked in, but it didn't do that. Right? So, what I did was get up out of the bed, angry. As I approached the door, swung open, like almost smacked me in the fucking face. Cold. I'm talking cold. And it's not winter. And we didn't have air conditioning. So there was no, and I'm still not thinking of the fact that the door just opened. I assume somebody pushed the door and I just was too drunk to notice. That wasn't true. I opened, after the door swings open and I'm standing there like looking, I turn around and I say, fuck this, I'm tired. I leave the door open now, I lay back down in the bed. Laying there and trying to go back to sleep. And now I'm not feeling good. Meaning, not good as in I don't feel good, sick, not good. I mean, like, I feel just uneasy. It's weird. Like, it's hard to explain. But I just did not feel like myself. Let's just put it that way. So, listening, looking around, just feeling weird. Almost felt like I didn't belong where I was. Let's just say that. So I get out of bed. Immediately leave my room. I go upstairs to my mom and dad's house. Knock on the door. I'm like, I don't feel good. But I noticed when I left my apartment and went upstairs, the feeling left. I didn't notice this until the second time I went out the house. But it left. So I decided to say, oh shit. It's kind of when I realized, that I no longer felt hungover or affected by the alcohol, which is weird because it doesn't usually leave my system that quickly. Like, I'd be drunk for a while and all hungover and shit, and that's usually what it is. But for whatever strange reason, at this particular point in time, I was completely sober. That scared the shit out of me. And then I realized something. In the corner of my room, on my bed, where I had been laying before, was this shadow, like dark mass. And it was just sitting there. And I'm sitting there looking at it, trying to fathom in my brain whether or not what I'm looking at is a product of a night of heavy drinking or some type of paranormal shit. Now, I don't know if any of you have listened to any of my other stories before, but there's something in our basement that I sometimes think leaves the basement and goes on about its merry way throughout the house. I'm almost certain of it. But only for short periods of time. I think it's allowed to like leave. And I don't think it can really do a whole hell of a lot. Now, staring at this mass, just looking at it, and it's looking at me. I'm assuming it is, unless it's staring in the corner, which I can't see why I would be staring into the corner. It's not like I put a dunce cap on it and said, sit in the corner, you little bad black mass entity thing. Well, as I sat there staring at it, like, I stared at it for a very long time. Well, it seemed like a long time. It seemed like forever to me. It probably was only like a few minutes, but it was long enough for it to start taking shape. Which, I'm not gonna lie to you, that shit scared the fucking shit out of me when it started to take shape. Because it's one thing to see like a dark ass mass in the back of your room or in a corner or something, because you can kind of like brush it off as lighting or whatever the fuck you brush things off like that with. But when it starts to take shape and then that shape starts to move towards you, you realize something. You're not seeing things. I thought I was. I really wanted it to be. But here's the thing, people. It's easy to see shadows in the middle of the night. Like, I could tell you I see a million shadows in this room. It's pitch fucking black, except for the light coming from this computer screen. You might say, oh, Owen, there's something behind you. And I might say, oh, yeah, there is. It's called a fucking cooler. A washing machine. Or a dryer. One of the two, I don't care. Now, as this thing comes closer, I can start feeling this coldness coming closer. Like, really cold. Now, I'm standing with my back to the door. The door is open. As this thing gets closer, the door is closing behind me. Now, the only reason I noticed it is because where I was standing at, the door, like, hit me. Because of, my close proximity to it. So I realized that this door is closing while this thing is getting close to me. I immediately haul ass out that fucking room. Bow, slam the door, gone. I was scared to death. I was scared. I'm not gonna lie to you. Because I could feel this. And it felt like it wanted to, I don't know, I'm not gonna say possess me. I'm not gonna say possess, because that sounds, cliche and typical. I don't know what the fuck the shit wanted. I know whatever it wasn't good. Because why did it need to close the fucking door as it approached me? It knew that it had me locked in sort of like this fear snare, I'll call it. It was like snared by fear. And immediately upon being snared by fear, you kind of have the like deer in the headlights things like, oh, and you're stuck. Well, I was stuck until that door hit me. Interact with you just to figure out if it's real. You know what I'm saying? If it's real. And then I think about the part of, well, what if it is real? Like, do I really want to know what the fuck this goddamn thing wants if it's real? No, I don't want to know. I'm not trying to fucking find out. It ain't going to be nothing good. I mean, if I was dead in some spiritual form and I'm coming at your live body, assume I want to take over your life and live again and feel what it feels like to be alive because it's physical. Maybe I want to go get some ass or some shit like that. I'm a ghost. I haven't had it in however many ghost years or however ghost time works. I wonder if their time works like our time, like it's day and night and it's 12 hours. Like, do they look at little ghost watches and ghost clocks and say, oh shit, it's 12 o'clock? And if it does say 12 o'clock, like, how do they determine the time of day? What if they died at a certain time and then it's always that time of day, no matter what time of day it is? I mean, I often wonder. Now, of course, in order for me to find this all out, I would have to die, somehow come back as a ghost in order to see if this happens. Now, it's not something I want to try because, the failed experiment would be me dying. And that would be it. And I'm sure there's some of you out there who probably wish that upon me. That's cool. You shouldn't do that because, you wish bad shit on people, bad shit comes back to you. See, you want to know why good things are happening to me right now? That's a little off task and off topic, but I'm going to tell you why, people. Because even those people who have done me wrong, I wish you no harm. In fact, I hope your lives get better. I really do. But back to this fucking thing. Now, the unfortunate thing about this is this story is actually preceded. You ever heard of people being marked? Well, that shit's true. You can be marked. I don't know if it's the beast. I don't know what it is that marks you, but you can be marked. Once you're marked, not only can you see things, but they can see you. And see, that's the thing. So I believe that both these worlds are separated by a plane of reality, meaning it's like a glass wall. You get what I'm saying? Like two-sided glass. Sometimes certain things can see into it, but the things that are there can't see out of it. Does that make sense to you? Like, I'm certain that there are certain ghosts who we see them, but they don't see us. Like the ones that don't try to interact with us. They're kind of just standing there doing their own thing, still doing their own life. Then there's the ones that can see you and know you're there. And they know you know they're there. And that's the interesting thing, is communicating, if possible. I don't want to, because it's bad enough dealing with the voices in my head. I don't want to deal with voices coming out of the ground or out of the air. You know, being like that kid in fucking Sixth Sense. You're walking around and fucking ghosts are popping up, asking you questions like, hey, you know, I was murdered like 16 years ago. It'd be cool, right? Like, if you could help me solve the murder. I know exactly who did it. You just have to help me prove to them that it was done. And I had this house. You need to go get a box. That may or may not be there because, you know, I told you it was like 16 years ago. I'm dead. And all my stuff was gone. So you need to solve my murder, or else I'm just going to keep following you around asking you to do that. Like, could you imagine that life? That would be sucky and destroying your brain cells. Crazily. You'd be looking like a fucking psychopath. That was a good movie, M. Night Shyamalan. You should have stuck with that formula. Then you just went crazy and started fucking doing twist, twist, twist. It's like a roller coaster with your movies, except it wasn't a fun ride. Just wanted to tell you that real quick if you're watching me, which you probably wouldn't. I mean, who the fuck is watching me? Except for whoever this person is. Thank you. Make it worth my while. Kill here and I'll talk to you for hours. How about that? We'll talk about all types of things like ghosts. You like ghosts? I fucking love them. And I hate them all at the same time. Well, this brings me to the part of the story which kind of explains why these am I going to do now. Well, usually what I do when I see things is I kind of just like acknowledge that I see them and try very hard not to let them scare the shit out of me. Because very often I'll just be walking in certain places and I'll catch that fleeting glimpse of something doing something it shouldn't be doing. Meaning, like, you know, a person sinking into the ground and then they're gone. Yeah, or you're making this up. No, I'm not making it up. When I was about 3 years old, I remember the day it happened. I was in my crib. Mom and Dad were in the room. Dad had came up to visit. It was the weekend. My dad came up to visit when I was young. And there was a light, like a glowing orange crib. Curious, you know, told you, I was a curious kid. So I wanted to know more about what the hell was, you know, on the other side of this door. So I walked over to the door slowly. I started opening it. Now, even then, I can remember this. People are like, you don't remember when you were 3? Well, I fucking remember it. It was a very life-changing moment for me, so shut your face. If you don't believe me, then, oh well, stop listening. Go home and listen to other people's ghost stories and say, oh, that looks real. You know, what happened? You know, I'm sitting there, opening the door slowly, and I could feel like I was scared to death. I just knew that there was nothing good on the other side of this goddamn fucking door, but I still had to look. I had to. I had to know what was making me feel this way. So, as I opened the door, the light, you know, hits my eyes. I could hear voices, like little whispers. They weren't speaking English, at least not a dialect of English I understood. It's weird. It's sort of like a chanting. And as I looked in the room, there was a boy, a little glowing boy, a little Caucasian glowing boy. He couldn't have been more than my age. And he's on my mom's table that she made out of a spindle with like these tile tops. It's a round table, and he's on top of it. And he's surrounded by these like demon things, little monsters that had somehow, and this is gonna sound crazy, people, but this is true. They had somehow like possessed my stuffed animals. So my stuffed animals are looking like little monsters, and they're standing around this table. And one of them, the biggest one, has this weird ass curvy, strange knife in his hand, and he's got it raised like he's about to stab this little glowing ghost boy. Now, when I open the door and I'm looking at the ghost boy, he happens to look at me. And when he looks at me, his face changes, almost like he feels like relieved, right? I'm thinking, oh shit, ghost boy. It's kind of cool looking. He's the ghost boy I've seen running around the house before. Well, he's an asshole, this ghost boy. He's an asshole. But I don't feel bad for what happened. Apparently, this child, it's a story, it's a true story, he had died in the house way back when, back when it was first built and there was dirt roads. There was some kind of fair or a parade, and this little boy ran to the window to look and see what was happening, and he fell out, third floor window, and died. So, yeah, he was trapped there, apparently. And he would run around the house slamming windows, slamming doors, like just to get the attention of somebody, I guess, who would help him. And no one really paid attention to him. In fact, I got blamed for him doing all this shit. And like, my stuffed animals would get moved around the fucking house, and my parents would be like, oh, well, my mom, because she was the one I lived with all the time. She'd be like, oh, you left all these toys all over the place. I'm like, no, actually I didn't. The little boy did it. And they swore up and down I was lying. They swore up and down I was lying. I was making it up. You're crazy. Took me to a doctor once. He said something about hyperactive, blah, 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 and more blah. And I'm thinking to myself, I see what I see, people. You're fucking with me, and it's not good. You're not believing what I'm telling you. You think I'm lying. I'm not lying to you, Mom and Dad. Just a little ghost boy running around. Well, anyway, back to the ghost boy on the table. He looks at me, and he kind of looks, and his face takes on a form of relief. At that moment, when he looked at me, and when he looked at me and his eyes hit my eyes, I felt warmth. I felt like warmth and happiness, relief. I felt safe. But I was feeling what he was feeling. See, I found out that I've been an empath for quite a long time. So I feel things a lot stronger. And not just like people. I feel things. Like things. If there was any kind of life connected or attached to it, it was a bad thing, I'll feel it. Not necessarily know, oh, well, this not a psychic. I'm not going to hold something and be like, this belonged to Jacob. Jacob says he wants it back. Give it to him, or he will kill you. You know what I'm saying? It's not. That's weird. I just said that. I'm not even gonna tell you the connection to it. That was weird. But anyway, yeah. So the boy looks at me, right? He's looking at me, and I look at him. And the biggest one, holding a knife that was about to stab him, realizes that something sees what they're doing. Now, like I told you, there's a two-way window. Sometimes you can see them and they don't see you. They see you, you don't see them. Vice versa. And apparently, they had been around there for a while trying to get this boy, and I wasn't seeing them. I saw him that night. I saw that motherfucker that night. He looked dead in my face. I did not get the same feeling as the boy. Now, when he looked, the boy's flash of light went straight through the ceiling. Poof, he was gone. And the demon holding the knife, or monster, whatever it was, looked back at the table, realized that I guess the soul he was about to steal was no longer there. And he was not fucking happy at all. Not happy at all. He locked eyes with me, and his eyes went from this reddish, fiery color to pitch ass black. And I mean black, like not that shiny black that you can see that their eyes are there. I'm talking like a black light that was empty, devoid of existence. Just like, it almost felt like it was sucking me out of myself. And I could not stop looking at it. I couldn't stop. I was stuck looking at it. And something in my head just kept screaming to run. And I couldn't run. He turned, and he starts coming towards me. And I am standing there paralyzed. Paralyzed. And I'm thinking to myself, that fucking little ghost boy. He traded my soul, that son of a bitch. fucking little trickster. Well, as this thing starts moving closer, I don't know if it walked, glided, slid, manifested, what it did. All I just knew is that it was getting closer. Closer and closer and closer. And somehow I just knew that when it got where I was, which was about another 4 feet away, I just felt like it was over for me. Like I wasn't gonna live past that point. Now, as I'd say about a foot away from my face, you know, it starts to reach towards me with this fucking weird ass. I'll see if I can draw it for y'all and let y'all see what I'm talking about. But this knife, if it stabs somebody, I'm assuming would really tear you the fuck up. Ugh. It looks like it hurts. It looks like it hurts. It looks unnatural too. It almost looked like a knife that had been bent into a weird, bendy, slithery serpent type. It was like if it was a snake slithering, but it was a knife, dagger, whatever. And this thing is getting closer. It's closer and closer and closer. And the closer it got, the more, like, I felt like my soul wanted to be torn, or the energy that is my being was trying to leave itself, like my physical body. Stan's hand is getting closer to my face with that knife. And then out of nowhere, just when I swear to God I thought that my little young 3-year-old life was about to be over, and done with, finished, finito, see you later, end chapter, fuck you, open. What happened? All of a sudden, the little ghost boy came back through the fucking ceiling and hit the table. Bow! Like a tapping noise hit the table. And when it happened, the damn demon turned around and the voice said, "Run." And I fucking ran into my mom and dad, who jumped right in their fucking bed. They were not happy because I like landed right on my dad, like BAM! What the fuck is wrong? You know. And I remember I didn't sleep in that fucking crib or that room again. Wouldn't do it. I was like, nope. My mom and dad actually had to switch rooms with me because I was not sleeping in that fucking room. Never slept in that day forward. It followed me every fucking where I went. It still follows me every fucking where I go. And it's just an asshole now. Because I think it realizes that for whatever strange reason it's not going to get what it wants. So it just taunts me like a annoying kid that pokes you in the ear, gives you wet willies, farts when you're trying to eat, stinks up the room, and then you don't want to eat no more. Or the kind that, like, when you're about to eat some food, touches it. I don't know about you, but if I'm eating something or about to eat it, you know I'm wanting it. Because I've prepared to sit down and eat it and deliciously enjoy it. I didn't just scarf it. You know, I'm walking around, and I put the plate down, and then it's like somebody comes along, and they just touch it. I don't want to eat it now. That's how it makes me feel. It's like I don't even want to eat it. Or even better, you ask me if you can have some of it, and now I have to feel like a fucking dickhead because honestly, I don't want to give you any, but now I don't want to eat it in front of you because now I know you want it. So I'm going to sit here and listen to you bitch, moan, and cry about the fact that you want something that I have, and I'm not going to give it to you. And I don't want to hear you bitch, moan, and cry about it. It's not that I feel bad for eating it in front of your face, because I don't, you know. Feed yourself. Anybody feeding me? Anybody making no plates for OMG? It's delicious. And never say, hey, you want some? And I don't blame you, because guess what? Unless you're a female, I'm not offering you shit. And if you're a female and I offer you shit and you don't take it and you ask for it later, well, you're not getting it. So that's just the way it works. You know? That's how I am. I want what I want, and I want it now. What I want is for this thing that follows me around to kind of just continue to be funny. Don't do anything harmful. You know, you've been getting a little fucking brolic lately. Oh, damn it. Stop it, man. You know, that's really fucked up. But you know what it did? I'm gonna tell you what it did recently. Sitting here, and I probably told you about this, but I'm gonna tell you again because it does these things. My phone, right, was in here. It was inside this room. You all know it because I posted Insta stuff before I went to sleep. Well, this is what happened when I woke up. Went to the bathroom, obviously, drank a lot of hot sauce and ate super fucking fiery noodles. It's gotta come out sometime. Better now than at 6 o'clock in the morning when other people need to use the bathroom because they wouldn't be getting in there. Now, here's the thing. Phone was in here, next to my keyboard. I wake up, it's not in here, right? Now, it's not the first time this has happened. This is the second time that it's happened. Next time, I'm going to find another phone to record with so you can see what I'm talking about. Or I'll get a static camera and just record while I'm sitting here sleeping, when I do go to sleep. Anyway, I come back in here, I realize my phone's not next to my keyboard. I look around, and then I remember. It's the dick. He done put my phone outside on the balcony near the edge so that when I go to get it, especially since it's late, I might kick it off. And that's what he's trying to get me to do. Or she, or it. I think it's a chick, honestly. I think it's a female. I think that's why she hasn't, like, killed me yet. Or tried to possess me, maybe, because I'm a male. I'm actually a male, an actual male. I was born male. I believe I'm a male in my mind. I'm completely, totally fine with being a male. And I don't think she likes that. So, I get my phone. And I realize that, you know what, I'm not going back to sleep now because I know you're around. And you fuck with me when I'm sleeping. I don't like being fucked with when I'm sleeping. At all. It bothers me. It makes me sick. You know, when I go to sleep, I want to sleep. Isn't that what you go to sleep for? To sleep. So when you're sleeping and something is messing with you, or here's the best thing. I love this. It's happened twice. I've been in here, and it's relatively warm. You know, I just have this place on because I like to keep myself covered up for whatever strange reason. It's a security thing. I feel like if I'm covered up, then they can't bother me. But anyway, it'll get cold as shit in here. I mean cold. I told you, you'll feel the fucking air change. Now, it's not cold as fuck now, but it's colder than it should be because there's no air blowing in here. It's not like it's windy or anything. I told you, there's no windows. You can see that during the goddamn day. It's the same darkness. Like, if the sun comes up right now, it'll still be the same darkness in here unless I turn that light on. And even with the light on, you can barely see me because it's that dark. So it's like plenty of little corners and nooks and crannies and shadows and dark areas for it to kind of venture about, which I understand. You know, I believe that the fact that I've accepted that it exists, it's a lot less likely to be angry. And I think that's what we all have to remember. It's like, imagine being that kid that gets ignored in school. You get mad about it, you know? Like, nobody ever picks me to fucking play basketball or dodgeball. I'm always the last one. Well, imagine how you feel. Like, you feel in your head probably like, oh, if I can fuck these people up, I'll fuck them all up. They're such assholes. Well, I think that's how things from other dimensions feel when they're doing ghost stuff. Like, hey, I'm here, acknowledge me, or I'm gonna keep doing fucking ghost stuff. But then some of them, like I said, are just dicks. They know that you can't do anything to them. Like, come on, let's think about this, people. Why is it, right? Why is it that if the exorcism is the end-all, be-all for this type of, you know, these types of possessions, why the fuck is it that there aren't very many successful ones? Like, what are we doing here? If not supposed to be helping people? Well, guess what? To me, that is just proof that religion, I'm about to say something that's gonna blow your goddamn mind and make you hate me, and I don't care. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit. And here's why I say it's bullshit. Because in the Bible and other scriptures and things of the religious nature, they tell you if you're supposed to believe it, that there was a time when these things walked the earth like people. And then somehow, over time, it's become demonic or satanic to believe in what the fucking Bible told you walks around. I mean, it even told you angels walking around and shit. And goddamn it, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'd much rather see a demon than a fucking angel. Read your history and read fucking theology. Angels ain't no fucking thing you wanna fucking see. Shit. Guardian angels? Do you know what they guard? Not us. It wasn't their job to guard us. In fact, their job was to kill us. Who do you think brought plague? Killed the firstborn children. Fucking destroyed and poisoned rivers with blood. Sent swarms of locusts. Destroyed humanity several different times. Because it was God's will. Now, here's the thing that always got me wondering about, the King James Version of the Bible and stories in the Bible, and then these interesting stories when it comes to do with humanity. Now here's the thing I'm going to ask you, right? Have you ever wondered why if a being is omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent, why do they need an army? That seems odd to me, right? Either A, your God that you believe in is an egomaniacal dick that just likes ordering things around, or B, he needs the army because one being, no matter how powerful it is, can exact or revenge everywhere. I think you guys, and that's why angels hate you so much, is because you don't give them any credit at all. But you believe you're greater than God in your own minds, whatever God it is you serve. See, I know this sounds like craziness. I've learned that schizophrenic people, not that I'm schizophrenic, talk a lot about God as if they are gods. Maybe they are, in their own minds, obviously, because they're on earth, so they can't be gods. But the point I'm making, which is a crazy point, especially when we making at almost 3 o'clock in the morning, the so-called time in which things are supposed to happen, or the air, or the energies are at their worst. Well, I suppose in about a minute we'll find out, won't we? Thank you for staying up with me to the witching hour. I'll call this Omen G Scary Stories, 2 a.m. to the witching hour. And it'll be the witching hour in a few moments. And at that time, I will light and smoke this blunt. It's 2:59. And that's another thing I call bullshit on, and I call bullshit on it for this reason. We change time. Like, we literally go back and forward with it by an hour just to make people more productive in businesses and blah, blah, and stuff like that. So, how is it the hour of whatever when we've changed the hour of whatever so many times? It's not even funny. That fact that there's so many hours in a year, or whatever. And can I ask y'all a question, people? Like, I just want to be honest with you. I see a lot of shit sometimes, and I don't record it because my immediate reaction is not to grab my phone and record shit. Most of the time, it's to like, well, I won't lie. I mean, maybe I should just start recording everything I see because I might show you something, but like, I don't. I need to get a camera that just records things, like a body cam. Turn it on, record and stream it live all day. Like, look at this. There's craziness happening. Now you can see it. Because it always happens, you notice it always happens when you're not expecting it to happen. But then who's expecting? That's why I hate that phrase, when you least expect it. Least expect it. Who expects fucking paranormal ghost spirit shit to happen? Like you're walking around expecting that shit. Like, I'm going to walk through the cemetery and I'm going to see a ghost. I'm going to see a ghost. Even though I know I'm walking through a cemetery, I still am not thinking, even though I know that stuff does exist, I'm still not thinking I'm going to see it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to see it. I don't want to see it in certain circumstances. And I think the reason why people don't want to see certain things in certain circumstances is because you feel trapped. You know what I'm saying? And you realize that there really isn't much you can do because what are you gonna do? Call the Ghostbusters? The fuck they gonna come in there? They're crazy. They're gonna tell the ghost they're on their way, and then the ghost is gonna be like, "Hey asshole, you snitch ass motherfucker! Did you just call the goddamn Ghostbusters on me, dude? I'm just haunting you. Like, why you snitching? Why you snitching? I thought we was boys." You know what I'm saying? Like, I come in, I push your computer over on your face, drop a table on you, hide shit from you, steal your lighters, try to throw your phone off the balcony, but we're cool, right? Like, I thought that's what you human people like to have happen. Oh yeah, I love it. I love walking into a store and stuff flying off the fucking shelf that shouldn't fly off the shelf, and then people are looking at me like I did it. Because it always lands near my fucking feet. No matter where it comes from, it always lands near my feet. This has happened at least 5 times since I've been to that cemetery. So I'm not sure if my friend, my dark follower, that's what I'm calling him, dark follower. I'm not sure if the dark follower is has been recruiting friends. You know, I think it is. I think together they're having fun. It's like prank omen G. Because, you know, why not? We can prank this guy and he'll have fun with it. Maybe every now and then we'll scare the shit out of him. And whatever. So I keep myself in dark places because you got to acclimate yourself to it and get used to it because they're going to pop out. They're going to pop out. And the last thing I want to do is be scared to death of some shit that will come out and then leave. Like, ha ha, ho ha, basically, is what it's saying. And that's not fun. You know what I'm saying? I don't like it. It makes me a little bit nervous. Honestly, nervous. And I'm sorry if I'm ignoring either one of these two screens because, like I said, this is a simultaneous live stream on 2 different platforms at the same time. Trying to get you both from both sides to go to one or the other so I can start shifting. Well, actually, I'm never going to shift everything to one. It's always going to be on one or the other. So I'm just doing this for all the people who never get to catch the live streams on YouTube, on Insta. So, hey Insta, hey YouTube. And there's probably not very many of you up here. I mean, who's up at 3 o'clock in the fucking morning except for you on YouTube? What's up? 3 o'clock in the morning. I told you I wasn't going back to sleep. It's impossible now. I've been up for too long. I mean, I slept for too long. I just don't like going to sleep early. If I go to sleep before like midnight, I'm gonna be up at like 1 o'clock every fucking time. It's without fail.
The pandemic hit
our school, and I've heard this commercial like every single time. I don't want to hear it anymore. I'm tired of that commercial. I'm tired of that fucking commercial. You know, I got the pandemic. You don't see me out here. Well, I didn't get the pandemic. I got the damn, virus. You don't see me sitting out here. You know, that could be another thing, right? That could be another thing. You know, let me be 100. See, there's a thing that happened to me before I saw the boy that might explain why I can see shit in the first place. Now, NDE, near-death experience. Now, I want you to understand something. I don't think that they're anything like a lot of people explain to me. I think people, one guy said it, and then somebody else said it, and then a whole bunch of people started saying it, and then now it became a thing that, oh yeah, the light at the end of the tunnel is definitely true. That's what everybody sees when they're about to die. That's fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit, because guess what? When maybe, and this is going to make you guys think, oh, that's why you see shit. That's exactly why you're mentally damaged. No, because I'm not the only one that sees things. And I guarantee you that all the people that are on Nuke's Top 5 and fucking Slapped Ham and Sir Spooks and King Frostmare and Dark 5 and all these other places, they compile from millions of videos. Go to Reddit. There's subreddits all over the fucking place. God damn it, Reddit is a fucking hole of shit. And I mean, god damn. And I'm probably not telling y'all anything that you don't know. I'm just late to Reddit. I just recently got into it. And there are nights when I can't stop looking at stuff. And it surprises me. The wealth of information that you can find on Reddit. If you haven't been to Reddit, hey, go to Reddit. Around 2.5, 3 years old, somebody smashed and fractured my skull right down here with a steel chair. Now I'm pretty sure somebody would say, oh, frontal lobe brain injury is one that will cause you to hallucinate and yada 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 yada. And you could be right. You could be right. But for the rest of my fucking life, people, come on. I can see if I was seeing shit as a kid, which makes kind of sense. But what I'm saying is, I believe those who do have near-death experiences, since you cross that plane of almost dead, you kind of never come back from it. So now you're able to see things, and because you crossed over halfway, now they can see you. And I think that's where it started from for me. It was being able to see shit. It was from that. Now, I've got to end this. I've got to end this. Been on long enough. I've told you stories. And I want to leave you with this right here. When you're in that dark room by yourself, you hear something in the corner, it's what you think it is. When you see that shadow flash past your face or in the corner of your eye, it's what you think it is. When you look, you see somebody there, and then you look again and they're not, it's what you think it is. It's exactly what you think it is. Whatever that may be. The mind can play tricks on you. The biggest trick the mind plays is to make you think that what's there is not there. Never thought about that? It's a protective device, your brain. It's meant to protect you and let you live through life. So obviously, if you have something going on, or you see something crazy happening, your brain is going to tell you it's not real. Because if it told you it was real, it would blow your fucking mind. You wouldn't be normal anymore. You'd be fucking crazy. But I believe those of us who have had near-death experiences, any of us that have had near-death experiences, we all probably see stuff. I'm gonna do a study. If anybody would like to be a part of this study, it's interesting. It's not a paid study. I'm just gonna ask you questions. Did you ever have a near-death experience? And did you ever, see shit after the fact? Or do you see shit now and may have had a near-death experience early on in your childhood and you just don't think that they're linked? Well, they're linked, motherfucker. I'm trying to tell you right now, they are linked. And it just was an epiphany for me tonight that I figured it out and thought, hey, these things started happening after. Or actually, I should say, I started seeing them after. They've always been happening. I mean, if we believe there's alien life, then it's very possible that there's interdimensional life. Life on the planes that we don't know. Maybe ghosts aren't really ghosts at all. Maybe they're just people in another time, and we're just catching small glimpses of them. We just happen to see them for fleeting moments. In this world of chaos, seeking order. I want to thank you all for joining me. Have a great night and stuff. I'll talk to you all later. Now, for those of you who are still with me on YouTube, well, there's some things that need to be said. Things that need to be said. Hold on, let me just type a title in here. You know, they make this difficult. They want to make it easy for you. Alright, YouTubers, how y'all doing? So am I. Or am I? Yeah, I'm done. We're gonna pick this up another day. Remember, if it's knocking, bumping, banging, flashing, it's there. And they're watching. They're watching. They're whispering amongst themselves, laughing maniacally, thinking about the one thing that you don't know, they do. And I don't know what it is either, but they know. Maybe they know how our deaths are. Maybe they know our lives. Maybe they control them. Maybe they are the ones that make you suffer. Maybe they're the ones that bring you good. Who knows? Who knows? I do know one thing. I know one thing very well. No matter what, no matter if there's a heaven or hell, or purgatory, Dante's 7 chambers of whatever they are, Inferno, you must understand one thing in life, and it'll make everything easier. There is no order without chaos.